Peace and love.
What's up, family? There we go. How y'all feeling?
We feeling powerful. Powerful.
Good, good. You want to handle the introduction?
Sure. So, peace and love, everyone. Welcome to our first episode of Love and Revolution, where we focus on the action, the heart meeting the action, right? And we focus on sharing love and who's doing what in community, what grassroots organizations are doing what, and how you can get civically involved. And today we got the New Era Scholars joining us from CSU campus, and I just can't wait to hear all the amazing things that they are doing and have done, and just ways that community you guys can get involved and really supporting these young people, because our youth will definitely be pushing the mission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for those that are tapped in right now on the live stream, I challenge y'all to send this to one person or to two people, or send this to your group chat and have folks tune in. Tap into what's going on in the city and around the country in regards to like Black leadership, Black movements, and things like that going on. So appreciate y'all. If you tuned in, we're gonna do this every week, every Thursday at 7:30, bringing on different guests, promoting events, promoting businesses, collecting resources, and so on and so forth, and just news and update on what's going on with everything New Era. So love and appreciate y'all, family.
And if you would like to be one of our guests, please feel free to DM us and message us so we can host you on one of our next episodes. Oh, I'm President Usher. I didn't even say all that. No.
And I'm Chairman Fahim. And joining us today, we have
Rameer Askew
and Lauren Smith.
Yeah, what's your organization, family?
So we are New Era Scholars, the first college chapter of New Era here at CSU. I'm a president, and this is
the treasurer.
Okay. Powerful. And love and appreciate y'all, man. So we're gonna kick it off here. It's not gonna be all rigid. We have intentional questions we want to ask y'all, but we also gonna have some fun as well.
Okay.
So y'all can relax a little bit.
That can.
Yeah, I definitely just want to express my gratitude to both of y'all in the profound work that y'all are doing, not only just at CSU, but in community. And this start of this new chapter that y'all building at CSU, and the impact that I know it's going to have not only on the college campus, but and throughout the city as well. And so I'm very much so looking forward to everything that you guys got going on. Y'all are young revolutionary leaders. And so I just count it a privilege just to witness y'all growth, honestly.
I agree. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, no, go ahead, President.
No, I was gonna say I agree, and I'm honored to be able to use this platform to really highlight the work that you guys are doing and the work that all community activists, especially in Cleveland, are doing, because so many times we hear about all the bad things that our youth are doing, all the bad things that are happening in our community, and we don't really give enough attention to highlighting the good that our youth is doing, the good things that are happening in our communities. And so I look at both of you as those models of what our youth should and could and are doing. And that's the imagery and the things that we really need to elevate us. So I'm honored that y'all are on here, and I can't wait to really tap in and talk about all the things that you guys are doing. So I don't want to hit y'all with the quote yet. Are y'all ready? Do y'all have a quote or something?
Not yet.
That y'all feel like, just really resonates?
Well, I have one on my heart now, just from how I feel. And one thing, y'all, we honored to be on here. Mm-hmm. But what's really in my heart now is remaining consistently consistent. Because as y'all know, understanding what it took to get here and all the obstacles that's put in place for me to be on campus, and then two, for us to have this on this campus. So one, say just for everyone out there to remain consistently consistent, but also how we're appreciative of you all too, to have that mentorship in front of us, to have this mentorship, to show us, to one, bring this fire out of us so we could bring it into reality. This was always in us, but to have that mentorship and also have mentors like yourselves be there to guide us, like, okay, this is what y'all gotta be wary of. This is what you gotta being security minded, not only for yourself, but also for the ones around you. So we thank y'all, and we're honored to be here as well. But that was one thing a quote on my mind, is remaining consistently consistent, understanding how it wasn't easy for y'all to start a new era of Cleveland, and how it's not easy to remain strong as y'all are doing, all the barriers y'all facing, but also us seeing that gave us hope.
And like I want you to really kind of like dive into like what are some of those challenges, you know, like the challenges of when starting the organization there, you being a college student, you know, having to make that transition from, you know, high school and now going into college, you know, just can y'all speak to some of the challenges that y'all are experiencing as college students?
You want to start, Quinn?
For me, I would say I feel like college was a lot of firsts for me. So with me moving like out of my mom's house, the new environment, me having to make new friends, my mental health was like not at the best. And usually my mental health is up there. Like I'm good. And when I started college, it was my stress levels was up too. So it was like I don't know. And then trying to build or trying to find that community as well was like it wasn't there. So yeah, for me, I don't know. Like it was just finding that community.
For me, I say the transition from high school to college wasn't easy at all. One would be being in sports, and then having to transfer that passion from sports to now this work now when it comes to serving our people. I mean, it wasn't hard, but I was just fortunate enough to have that guidance as y'all. The one be there as I make this transition, and also making that transition from being a boy to a man now. It wasn't easy at all. So like to have, I said this that modelship in front of you, King. That's why I appreciate Chairman as well as some of the other male mentors inside my life that made this easy for me to transition from being a boy to now a man. When it comes to now having to keep that balance from your work as well as your work where you got to make money, and then having that balance with family, making time with family as well. So that was the things I was struggling with, like having that balance, and also not having myself everywhere where I'm drained out. And now I'm just now getting to that point where it's like understanding to have that balance and making time for myself. So that was one thing for me. Instead, I want to do so many things, but now telling myself like you can't do everything. Do what you can at the moment, and then what you can't do later on, do.
Yeah. And the perspective of would you rather do 10 things and be at 70%, or would you rather focus in on those 2 or 3 things and be at 200% fully invested in those things that you're doing? And too, like I was sharing with you yesterday, just realizing the asset that you are and the value that you bring, just your presence alone adds to every space. You are going to get pulled in so many different directions because people see that value as well, and they're like, okay, well, I know he can contribute this to what we have going on here, or he can contribute this to this space. And so don't, again, spread yourself thin. And the value is in you being like your optimal self.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I could agree. Definitely. I think that's what I struggled with definitely in high school. From me, like literally my sophomore year, I go from school, work, from work, football practice, and then some days I go from school, Case Western. After Case Western, go straight to football practice. Then after football practice, go straight to work. So I definitely agree. But it's like I was never my 100% self. It wasn't until I quit my job and like focus on those two things, just school and sports. It was like, okay, I'm gonna just be a child now, where I could be my best self, and like where I was able to, everything came so authentically, as far as like from my poetry to just me being me, being my comfortable self, not waking up drained out. So I could agree.
Yeah. And two, I just want to ask y'all, what is the value in your relationship in regards to the amount of energy and time that y'all put into doing this work, also being students and also being in a new space. And so like more like you had alluded to in the beginning was like finding your village, and also like getting back tapped into yourself or this new version of yourself in regards to your mental health and so on and so forth. So what has the relationship between you two brought or helped or brought to that space as well?
Who's like answer? Let me go.
Um, I gotta think, cause we together every single day.
Yeah, I could go. I say just that piece.
Yeah.
My like, unfortunately, for the ones being around me, like out of love, understandably that they was concerned. But now it's like for a queen to be concerned, but also allow me to be me, as far as like allow me to step into this, like allow me to be my authentic self and do the work I want to do, not something I'm being forced to do, but just something I want to do. And as far as having that partner by your side to really, not even cheer you on, but just to be that support. Like, okay, I see you and I acknowledge you. As well as vice versa, being that support for her as well. So I say but creating that space would been great value is creating that space to communicate these things.
A safe
Communicate,
space.
yeah, a
Yeah.
safe space.
Yeah, cause that's what I was gonna say. A safe space.
Having that safe space. So create that safe space for each other. For one, not only talk about what's going on inside a relationship, but also how we go handle the next task for the organization and what we see that's bothering us personally. Because there's some things that we may not see out of our own that going on inside the world. It's like we have a healthy debate about it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now let's come to a compromise how we could one grow this and also make it better for the youth. Understanding how what we have when we was younger, but providing more than what we had for the younger generation now. So just communication, creating that safe space to communicate and debate healthy.
Yeah. Cause it's like before even getting into a relationship, you gotta take in consideration what you've been through before relationships. I mean, in your past relationships. Cause me, like, I could say this is my first true, real healthy relationship. So it's like, um, when being in a relationship like that, uh,
You got distracted. It's okay.
yeah. But yeah, this is my first true ever real healthy relationship. So the the communication like is there, and out of that, I feel like a safe space just has to be there as well.
I could agree.
Yeah.
And like with that, what are some ways that y'all have been able to create like boundaries so that you guys have y'all time like as a couple, but then y'all time as like being leaders of an organization? Like,
Okay,
do
what's
y'all
first?
create any boundaries, or does it bleed all through?
I feel
Um,
like it bleeds all through.
yeah, I could agree.
Yeah.
Because like we, without intentionally doing, like we already have our space. Sometime like we were like when she's at work, when I'm at work, we're like we doing our own study time individually, or like when I gotta go to the gym, it's like okay, now she got her time to woo, so I got my time to really enhance myself. Because when I'm in the gym, that's my piece. That was my piece before anything else. So it's like now, okay, I got two spaces of peace. So I say, when we create our time together, but like it just happens so naturally. That it's like, okay, well, I'm about to go do this. Okay, she about to go do that. I'm handling my business. She handling her business. So I say, just allowing things be just to flow naturally. Like the time is made already for us to have our own time, just as we flowing, doing what we want to do. As far as like really serving the people, as far as like as well as embodying like who what we want to be, as well as
That.
embodying what we want to be, but as well as just handling our business. We understand like, okay, this is college. This is new for us both, and we want to be at our best in college. But we go help each other grow. So I say it's been good for us. As far as like the spaces, we just allow things to flow, and from it flowing, we just so happen that space just so happen to create an opportunity for ourselves.
And I appreciate that. Like, I think about, Chairman Fahim and I, like, that's very similar. Like, ours just kind of flows and blends into the day, but it also, like, empowers the impact that we can make because we have an aligned partner, right? And, like, so many times, a lot of people are out here doing this work by themselves because they don't have an aligned partner. And how much more we get done because we have the same goals, the same heart, the same mission. And I think that that's so empowering because, like, I couldn't imagine making the impact that we do if it was just me or if it was just Chairman Fahim. I think that the reason why we make the impact that we do is because it's us, together. And so I see that same thing. And I really want to get into like new era scholars of, one, how did it come about? why did you choose it? What was the process like, and the bits and pieces that you guys have both put together in creating this? So we could go ahead and get into so everybody know who New Era Scholars is.
Okay, so how New Era Scholars came about was also by a great queen to sit with my thoughts and sit with myself. You queen. Before coming here to college, realizing that doing this work, you ain't gonna always have that support. It ain't gonna always be easy. And as I was struggling with the thoughts in my head of like, okay, how can I do this work and try to please everyone? And I understand you can't please everyone. But when you tell me to sit with myself, sit with them thoughts, understand like what is your best role right now, and how do you think you can still make an impact to the world and still give to yourself at the same time? So as I sat with that thought, I was like, okay, well, New Era Scholars came. Okay, well, I want to do this in college. Understanding that this is the road I want to go. That this is how I could still feed into myself. And okay, well, I'm still going to college, still doing my work, still doing what I need to do. It's like, okay, well, they can't complain about anything. So as that thought came, and then as it's just so happened that when Queen, like before we got into college, meeting Queen, and it's like as I'm sharing this thought with Queen, like I just shared, it just happened one night, I shared with her how I want the logo to be. And she like, really? I'm like, yeah. She like, I could do that. I'm like, word? She like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let me see. So I just literally told her what I wanted, and literally she created a logo right there on the spot. It within about 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that,
I forgot what we was doing, and then after that I was done.
And that's how the logo came about. And then when we got on campus, I was already making out the presentation like in my head of what I want, but it's not writing it down. So as I started to write things down about like our mission, our purpose, and like what is really our role here at CSU, and also the impact we want to make not only on campus but off campus, because we want to make an impact off campus with New Era Cleveland. But a matter of like now making the students aware of what's going on, like. There's so many decisions made for us, the youth, but you don't have no youth voices at the table. So once I saw that, and from doing the work with y'all and going down to City Hall, as well as seeing what's going on inside our community, with our babies, and with our women and our kings as well, and how we're so lost, it's like, okay, well, the only way to combat that is now get to us, the youth. That way, before they even get outside into adulthood, they already get in conditioned in a healthy way, rather than a negative way with social media and music, but being conditioned in a healthy way now. So from me sitting myself to Queen really helping me put my thoughts together and being that piece for me, but as well as letting me see as well, like bringing to my attention also what's impacting women as well. And seeing like, wow, I never knew that. So listening to her as well to understand like this is impacting our young women. This is what our young women struggling with and dealing with. These barriers they face. And then and then bring that all together and making it one big organization for us, the youth, to feel to have a safe space here on campus, and also in hopes to expand to other campuses, so more young men and women like ourselves that's like-minded can have the same opportunity and safe space.
And can you speak about like what is the mission of New Era Scholars?
Okay, so the mission is, here we closer now, okay? So the mission is to gather the most conscious young men and women, not the most intelligent, the most conscious. And the difference is conscious people understand their responsibility in life, and they're willing to fulfill that responsibility. Now, intelligent people, they may understand their responsibility, but they may use that responsibility to make money off the poverty of our people. We ain't looking for people like that. We're looking for conscious people. So that's our mission here, is to gather the most conscious students and make an impact from starting on the campus to off campus, but all as well as making students aware of everything that's going on inside the surrounding communities. Like we're so clogged, we're so clouded with our work and what we got going on that we don't even pay attention to what's going on around us, and what's impacting us as well as students, with how the outside community is impacting our campus as well. So bringing conscious students together and changing the world for the better, not only here on campus but in other campuses as well. So that's our mission, is to gather conscious students to make an impact.
And so, like, what are some of the things that you guys, focus in on and wanting to address? So, like, I know, and I'll just speak from, like, what I know is, like, the homeless population, because I know you and I have talked.
It's a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Somebody asked a question.
Hey, can you help me with
Yeah,
so
My Styles.
I got you, Styles. You know your little sister. I got you. You got the number and all. But we are planning on having tutors and mentors for the youth as well. For them, for the question, for on those Tuesday and Thursdays, when they have questions on the algebra test, they can come up here and get trained by tutor and mentored by college students that been through what they've been through. Like, you got freshmen that were just high schoolers literally this year. So it's like, okay, we understand the work you got going on. So we got something coming for that, Queen. Coming soon for that, so we can help you all the algebra work you got. But what you asked President, my apologies. Asked some of our goals, and so as you mentioned, homelessness. When I first got here, me and Queen, we just so happened to walk in the Rad School house, and what touched me was it was a Queen out there, and understanding her conditions. She's in a wheelchair, and that although she had family, but none of the family stepping up to care for her, and that touched me because my mother's bedridden, and I would never have my mother be outside late, starving, with no place to stay. And seeing that's like, wow, this is our Black Queen. We must take care of her. And after going to restaurants getting us some food, we brought her back some pizza. But it was so sad because Queen was afraid to even accept food because of her past trauma with other men and just people before us using that to tease her, embarrass her, as well as just make her feel uncomfortable with herself. But as we got to know Queen, she has beautiful art. Like Queen, she I don't know if it was painting or a sketch.
She was drawing.
Beautiful. And like to see that's like, wow, like Queen got talent. So seeing that, it's like that's what started the spark, right? Started that spark in us. It's like, okay, well, this is the first thing we gotta address. We should not be seeing our Black queens out here starving with no food in their stomach, no blankets. And we as CSU students, we live in lavish. We don't gotta worry about we don't gotta worry about much. We do waste a lot.
Yeah. Especially like all the food that they be throwing away, like that could be given to them.
Especially you guys are in one of the most heavily invested communities in Cleveland. University Hospital, you got Case, you got CSU, you got Cleveland Clinic, and there's a lot of investment going on in the community, but none of it is servicing the people on the ground level. And so I think that it's powerful to have y'all be the voice or the advocate for those and reallocate some of those resources to make sure that it's touching the people that need it. Like y'all just said, how much food get thrown away? Just put it in the trash. And I bet you the dumpster got a lock on it. And so that really just put things into perspective. And again, I applaud y'all for taking on that fight as well, because you guys could have just kept walking. Or like she was saying, her past trauma was people putting the food in front of her and then pulling it away. And that to me is insane. Doing that to somebody that's already down and out. And so you guys are changing the culture there in that space, and I appreciate y'all for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we're in the city of Cleveland. I know someone asked what city that we're in, and they are Cleveland State students that created a program called the New Era Scholars to address, one, creating that village for conscious Black students to have conversations and connect with each other, but also to address some of the things that are happening on and off campus and bring awareness to what is happening on off campus to those students, and providing youth mentorship and tutoring, support for the homeless. But what are some other things that you guys are doing or strive to do as well?
And while y'all on here, y'all go follow their pages. They're tagged in the post up on the page. So go follow both of their pages and also follow the New Era Scholar page as well. And figure out how you can support the work they're doing. Even if you can't show up in person. It might be sharing a flyer. It might be sharing a post. It might be sending $5, $10 here or there. But just spreading awareness.
My fault, man.
One of the missions was to serve humanity, and for me, like I had to really get specific on that and my own issues with being a freshman in college and just having that real relationship, my first real relationship. So it's like with that, it came a lot of new experiences as being a woman and leaving girlhood. So it's like with that, I felt like we do have a women's department here, but I didn't really feel connected to it as I wanted it to be, like for me. So I wanted to start a women's week, and basically it's a week full of like just talking about mental health and things that women that go through.
What week would that be?
It's starting the 18th.
To the 20th, to what?
22nd. Yeah, 22nd.
November 18th?
Yeah.
So that's next week on Monday.
It is.
Okay.
Two parts to this question I'm about to ask. One, what is the breakdown? You don't have to go into grave details on everything y'all got planned, but what is just a breakdown of some things that y'all are going to tap into next week? Is there, and then also, is there a way for people to support? Are there things that y'all still need in order to make this happen?
Right. So Monday we're talking about hoe shaming and sex shaming because I feel like it's a lot of stigma around women enjoying pleasure and sex and things like that. And I just wanted to start a sisterhood and a safe space to talk about things like this and a conversation. And I just don't want to be talking about my own personal experiences. I want to learn from other people as well and other girls as well. And then on Tuesday we have dance and role play. Another member of New Era Scholars, Christian, she's supposed to be hosting that, so I'm excited for that. Wednesday we have yoga and yoni. We're supposed to be getting a yoga instructor to come and do some yoga with us. And then Thursday we're supposed to be talking about self-defense and human trafficking awareness. And then Friday we have a tea party.
Fire.
And I'm excited because I'm gonna be there helping facilitate. But is this Women's Week? Is it only for Cleveland State students, or can community come as well?
I just wanted it to be only CSU State students because, like I said, the community part, and I want it to be a sisterhood. So even after the event, we, I'm seeing you around campus. It's like, we have a community.
And I'm excited because I think that it's really important to create those spaces, especially on college campus. I remember my freshman year of college, and that was a long time ago. But there
back in
my day, it was a long time ago. But it was very challenging for women. One, because you're in a college dorm, you want to be accepted by males. You're bringing the conditioned behaviors of what your household was or what the community that you came from before. So now you're trying to merge all that together, and you're trying to figure out who you are as an independent person, but also your sexuality. Right? Like a lot of sex happens on college campuses and a lot of different activities, especially when people get drunk and parties and stuff like that. So being able to have those safe spaces to have those conversations for people to be supported. I know like rape was a big issue on my college campus because girls would just get drunk and the guys would just take advantage of that situation. And it was bad on both parts because the males didn't know the law, right? They didn't know that a girl can't give consent if she's had anything to drink, if she's taken anything. That completely eliminates her consent. And so you can be charged with rape if she wakes up, the next morning and be like, hey, I didn't want that type of thing. But then also, you guys are, again, when I was in college, there was no social media. But you guys have like a whole social media platform that when something's going on, they could just turn on the live and just, different things. So I think it's very, very important for you guys to, especially the women, to create that space, but also the men. So I know the men's week is coming up soon too. But just to start having those intimate conversations so that we are informed, right? Like if we don't talk about stuff, we just don't know. And a lot of times we suffer in silence. And that suffering could have been reduced if we had a safe space to educate ourselves and to share.
Yes.
So I really applaud y'all for creating that on a college campus because, again, like I went to Cleveland State. I went to another college before that, but I went to Cleveland State for my master's, and there was nothing like that. There was nothing like that where we could really, one, as Black people come together, but then as women come together and really learn from each other. And learn about things that are happening on and off campus. So I really applaud y'all for creating this.
Thank you. That was the intention.
Yes, I agree with Slick the Chef. That was issue. And people just being very informed on what is rape. you know, and women understanding the difference of it as well. And then also women holding other women accountable that use it as a tool that it didn't happen, you know, because I think that it makes it very hard for when something does happen for those women to get the support and justice that they need because other women have used it as a weapon, you know what I mean, or didn't understand fully what that is. So like I appreciate, you know, all those candid conversations that y'all are going to be having next week, and really especially the human trafficking. You know, in Cleveland we really underestimate human trafficking in our communities, even though we are one of the top cities in the country for human trafficking. It, you know, we don't talk about it enough, and human trafficking is not just a female problem, it's a people problem. So I really appreciate you guys taking that time to have that conversation and creating that safe space.
I agree 1,000%.
So what were some challenges like in creating this?
Well,
you know, I know there was a process because it is a college campus. You guys just couldn't boom, you know, now we're a thing. You know, like what were some of the challenges and the steps that you had to take to be an official organization at a college campus?
Okay, one, understanding that this wasn't wanted at this campus at all, and understanding that your presence may not be wanted, but also still something to that light. So it was, that first was like understanding that our presence wasn't wanted to begin with, but then also what made it easy was having that support from mentors like Mr. Andy, Mr. Jamil, as well as Dr. Petty, and Dr. Banks. Having that support from them, so from getting that support from them to now they're showing us the proper steps now, so now to be an official organization, and it took a week for us to become an official organization. Andy sat down with me. We made the Constitution and all. He walked through the process of like having the mission, having the it was simple, but not really simple if he wasn't used to like as far as like we have everything planned out. So fortunate enough that we had everything already written up, as far as definitely with the logo as well. So we'll just have an idea what our mission is, our purpose, and our role here on campus. That's what made it easy. But as far as going on Vikings Connect, and signing out the organization form, and then from there doing the Constitution as well, and then waiting to get a reply back from the upper ups to let you know if you could be an official organization. And we proud to say that it only took us a week to become an official organization. And then after that week, we had our event with the movie. But that's really come from the help of with Andy and Jamil, as well as Dr. Petty and Dr. Banks being in our corners and walking us through those steps for us to be an official organization at CSU. So fortunately, it wasn't tough for us, but the process, but understanding that our presence wasn't wanted at first.
Yeah. And when you say that the presence wasn't wanted, what are the factors that you think influenced?
Understanding that there's not many of us here, and then the ones that are us that are here are us. We're not as vocal.
No, you can go ahead and say
Yeah,
it.
this is transparency around here.
You mean
understanding that this is a PWI, you know, and it's very diverse as well, but you don't have many Black folks on here that's really vocal. Fortunately we was fortunate enough to be introduced to the BSU, and that was like another connection for us to like, okay, now we feeling that family connection. So we had a BSU, but as well as they should be amplified more here on campus. We feel like just as all the rest of these organizations amplified, and some of these fraternities and sororities are amplified here on campus, the BSU should be amplified as well. They should promote more of their events. There should be more Black students at their events popping up and showing love to the BSU, because the BSU is showing love to Black students. So I'm seeing that and understanding, okay, we see the challenges they're facing. We want to, when we become an organization, we want to make sure we amplify them as well. That this is no competition, that we're one of the same, that we're trying to uplift our people first. And if we're uplifting our people, uplifting all people. Because as Kwame Ture said, if you serving the black race, Black people are part of humanity. So you're serving humanity. Ain't no racist with that. So if I'm serving the impoverished part of humanity at that, I'm serving humanity still. I'm not a racist for that, for serving my people and putting my people first. So understanding like, okay, now we're doing here for our people. So one barrier is just understanding that, okay, with the BSU here, they didn't even show our own Black students, don't even show love to them as much as they should. So it's like, okay, now we got make more black students aware of what the BSU doing, because BSU been around here longer than us, so they should be put on this pedestal and amplified as well. And then coming together and collaborating on like how we go amplify our people voice more. So understanding that and understanding that they don't want that here. They don't want that. Even when it comes to fraternity and sororities, they don't show the Divine Nine here how they show these white fraternity and sororities. Like the Divine Nine, none of them got their own house. And these white frats and sororities got their own house here, close to campus, where they can have their parties. The Divine Nine don't got that here. So seeing that's like, okay, well, we don't got no space here for real. Like they allow us to do certain things, what they want to allow us to do, but like no, we go do what we want to do as far as when it comes to serving our people and make sure our voice is heard as well. So understanding that this wasn't wanted. They didn't want us to have a voice. It's one thing to have BSU, but now to have New Era Scholars alongside of BSU, it was like, okay, now we having these events, but we got the security as well as we got the voice with it too. Where it's like, no, we go speak and be vocal about what we deserve here as black students at CSU campus.
I think Queen Two said something powerful in the comments. She said that we're the only demographic who are demonized for putting our people first. And I think just based off of that, that perception, a lot of people choose not to identify as black first. And one, I think that there's a disconnect between our current perception of who we are and our greatness, which is why folks ignorantly choose not to identify with who we are and what we are. And when I see what you guys are doing and the work that all just New Era throughout the country and all other black people that have taken on this task, we are reminding our people of who we are and what we come from and what we are. And that right there is so empowering. And remember, the Black Panther said that their two greatest battles were the two big I's, ignorance and inertia. The ignorance of our people being disconnected, and the inertia or complacency that people have grown to accept things for what they are because they feel like we are not capable of changing those things. And so when we see people take on that task of changing our circumstances, that right there is so empowering, because then it plants a seed of, okay, I don't have to accept things for what they are. Again, like I always say, life is not just happening to us, but it's responding to us. And so with stepping into that dominion or that authority, again, you can create a ripple effect that will last generations. And that's like the work that you all are doing today. That's what I see taking place here. And one thing that you had mentioned during your first event, the orientation, you talked about building a legacy that would last after y'all long and gone, your grandkids long and gone. And it's starting right here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's starting right here at CSU. It's starting right here on East 24th in Euclid. And right there to be the first, to be the foundation. It is a burden, but it's a beautiful task. Like it's a beautiful burden to bear as well. Like trailblazing, and there's a lot of adversity that comes with that. But again, I see you two together being able to accomplish anything.
Yes, sir.
And I really want to highlight an approach that you took as well. While you were developing this, you looked around at the other entities and organizations on campus that were also trying to elevate and mobilize and organize their people of different cultures, right? And how you intentfully built relationships with them and went to go support their events and really just highlighting the fact that we are all fighting the same fight, and that it doesn't take away from our, Black people, if we're saying or acknowledging that, the Palestinian community, you guys are going through the same things that Black people are doing. So let's do this together. Let's see how we can build these bridges. We're separate, but we're doing it together. And I really appreciate that, because that's something that we do in community, but to see it on a college campus, because college is very fragmented. Like when you look in the cafeteria, the white people over here, the Indian people over here, the Hispanic people over here, the Black people over here, like there's very rare that it's a mixture or a blend. So I wanted you to just speak on that, because I know that and I can't speak on a college campus, but like in community, that's the thing that they fear most, is that we're going to start to see the same struggle in each other, right? And not just because we're Black, but because we not of the ruling class, right? And that that we're gonna eventually band together to create one. You know, we'll appreciate our differences, but to band together and create one voice, one sound, and that's where that true power is. So, like, one, I wanted to commend you on that, but also ask for you to speak on that a little bit.
As well as just collaborating with other organizations here and seeing what they as far as just outside of us, seeing like as you going to the cafeteria and see the difference. Like I went to an all boys school that was just black men, really empowering black men. So come here is definitely different going inside the cafeteria and seeing like, oh, it's very diversified. Like everyone has their own little section they click with what they click with. But understanding like it don't have to be like that. So as I started like my first week here, I played with it was an Indian young man. Literally just ran into him before we came here. And he told us they have an event tonight. But we played volleyball together. Me, him, and about 7 other of his friends. And as we started to talk more, it's like okay, understanding like where he come from, the struggles he had to face, the barriers he had to face to even get over here to enjoy this privilege to play volleyball. Understanding that they don't have wood floor to do that. They just play on nothing but dirt. So hearing his story, hearing his trauma, also understanding what the barriers they face within inside their community, it's like wow, you know, we're no different. We're all suffering in a way. And then as well as hearing with SJP, hearing what's going on inside with the Palestinian people, hearing what's going on inside their home, and what's taking place there now, as well as how it directly links to here in Cleveland, Ohio, with our folks when it comes to police brutality as well. How we use the same tactics they're using on their people too. How they use the same tactics on us that they're using on their people. So understanding like we're all not different in any way. You know, we're just misunderstood beings. That's going through the same obstacles, just different times in our life. And seeing that, it's like, wow. As I start to become more aware of that, it's like understanding that I want to create that Rainbow Coalition here. What Fred had done with the Illinois Black Panther Party, how he brought impoverished white people, the Latinos, and blacks together, understanding that it's bigger than black versus white, bigger than rich versus poor. But it's truly a matter of educated versus uneducated. That we must educate our people so that way we could grow as a humanity. Not as just black folks, not as just white folks, not just as Palestinians, not as just Indians, but as a human race for us to fully grow. And it's way bigger than us. And that if we come together and to fix these issues that's going on inside all our communities, that we can live at peace, that we can have that world of peace, love, and prosperity, that we don't got to be in power, that we don't got to be under this dictatorship that we call the government. Understanding like all things is not for us, but we can make these things for us. So seeing that on campus, understanding their struggles made me be more empathetic for them and understand, take myself out of my own shoes, like understand like wow, people going through the same struggles that look totally different from me. So now also using new era scholars to be that voice for them as well, coming together, understanding that okay, we going through the same struggles, the same problems. How can I help you in your burdens? How can I be that peace and alleviation for you and your people as you be the peace and alleviation for me and my people? How can we understand one another? I understand what's your community going through, what my community going through, and the traumas we both face. How can we bring our community to peace? So I'm seeing that and having this having this diverse community here really opened my mind to see much more than what I was used to. Because I grew up on 115th to St. Clair and moved from place to place. So that's all I knew was seeing from the gang activity, seeing this and that, and then moving from the ghetto to suburb, still just understanding, you know, there's only spots for us black folks in the suburbs, and like understanding our problems there. So it's like it was like no really understanding, expanding out to understand the rest of them. So now with moving to college, I can understand them more and seeing like wow, they're facing the same obstacles we're facing. So yes, you got anything to say on that, Glenn?
Yeah, I also wanted to mention the LGBTQ room because I feel like they also have their little clique too. And I wanted to go in that room, but sometimes I don't feel welcomed in these, like, trying to get in the diverse clubs or whatever. Sometimes I don't feel welcome. So it's like when we create these like inclusive areas, I will be super excited because it's like I would want to join that anyways. You know, I would want to put myself out there anyways. So it's like, yeah.
Isn't it weird how, like, say a safe space for one group becomes an unwelcoming space for another group? And to me, that's That's crazy because it's supposed to do the opposite of that. How some people may perceive a pro-black movement as this isn't inclusive of other races, where like, no, we're just prioritizing this race. That does not mean that you're not welcome to come to the table and be a part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But understand that you're coming into this space, so you're not controlling what goes on in this space, and just learn to be present. And also educate yourself on what's going on here. And that's the part that people that are stepping into new spaces that are for a specific group, they fear, but then also trauma, that the reason that safe space was created for them was because they were ostracized from every other space. And so it's again, the only way that we come to a certain level of understanding and comprehension is through communication. And so, yeah, it goes both ways. For example, what you guys are building within the Palestinian community. I know when we walked in that room, when they had that event, it was kind of looked at first like, what are y'all doing here? You know, and then we were identified as who we were. It was like, okay, all right, yeah, now we can have a conversation. And I just appreciate how we were transparent on both sides within the Black community and the Palestinian community about our racial biases. What are the lies we were told about Palestinian people? And then from them to hear, like, what were the lies that were told about us as Black people? And so having that moment to really be transparent and address that. And now we can move forward and start building relationships.
Mm-hmm. And I also happy when you spoke up on that as well, like understanding like as we move forward, like we're gonna move forward together in confidence. Understanding that both sides will be you're gonna be having people on both sides trying to pull us away from each other. But no, like that's why we're so disconnected now. And we gotta stand together and stand strongly and proudly together. And I was so glad when you said that, King, because even before that, like with them seeing me on campus, it's like, you know, I'm Black as heck. I love my Blackness though. But it's like with them seeing me, it's like, oh look, like he's president New Era Scholars is like, and it's like it was never approached. But now after that conversation it was had, and with us being transparent in that room, it's like now they can comfortably come and approach me now. But that, because now they know like, okay, we already understood what the lies that was told, and I was happy that you brought that up inside that conversation, because now it's just ever since that meeting, it's just been I feel nothing but love now. It ain't like just okay because you see what we can bring. No, like it's just true love.
And that conversation was necessary based on our own personal experiences. There are people within the Black community like, why y'all with them? Oh, you shouldn't trust them. They Arabs and this and that. And I'd be like, oh, you know, Arab is an offensive term to them. You know, that's like no different than somebody calling you the N-word or a monkey or whatever the case may be. So again, it's like about us being not being afraid of like our relationships. Like if I'm standing with them, I'm standing with them. I don't care if you Black, white, or whatever. You got an issue with it, then so be it. You know, go about your way. And the same amount of camaraderie has to come from them on their end as well. There are going to be folks from the Palestinian community that are like, you shouldn't stand with them. You shouldn't support them because they're Black or because they're this or because they're that. It's like, what do you know about them? Is that being made? Is that statement or perception being based in truth, or is it being based in myth and perception, false perception? And so, you know, what y'all doing is so powerful and profound, man. And to hear from Andy that in addition to the SJP that is already on CSU, you also had students from CASE present on campus, and white, Black, and Palestinian. And so Andy said that was the first time since the Civil Rights era, since the 1960s, that there were CASE SJP students on CSU campus all in one room. And I don't know the exact amount of people that were present that day, but I know the room was full for your first event.
Over 50 people. Over 50. Well, we can't say over 50 because the room holds 50, but it was over 50 people.
Powerful.
I know you want to read this. I've been seeing some questions in the comments. I don't know if y'all wanted to read it or if y'all
Absolutely.
saw it.
Yeah, we can dive into those.
You got to scroll up to see more.
There was one I know I had saw for the Women's Week. Someone had advised to create a buddy system. You know, so they had spoke about, you know, when they were in college, they would make sure that, you know, no one would walk home by themselves, or, you know, they always had someone that was kind of accountable to them. So I thought that was a really good one that I had saw pop up is just like creating that buddy system when you're creating that culture and that village for the women.
We can do that,
Yeah,
but as well as they have that here with the CSU police. So
But everybody
like,
don't feel comfortable with that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you ain't gonna want to bring the police to the party.
What I look like get escorted by the police.
You're right.
You ain't gonna want to bring the police to the party. All right, hold on now.
We escort our New Era scholars, the truest.
And then I know I saw just highlighting the numbers and why Cleveland is very high for human trafficking because we have the access to the water.
Yep.
But also I'll speak to just the lack of community response. You know, when we talk to because we work inside the prisons and stuff, and when we talk to them and we like, why y'all be taking people from this area? Why do you do this? And they say because ain't nobody gonna go look for them. There won't be any response to what's happening. So I think that that's a big thing of why New Era Cleveland has that community response, but also the New Era Scholars is creating that community response. But go ahead, you said.
To Cam's comment saying that there was a Case Western student that was at the event that said that was their first time on CSU's campus in their 4 years in Cleveland.
Wow.
And so like that's up the street. You got two large universities right here, and there is no relationship between the students at these universities. So you guys are the introduction to that, and for it to be such a one for y'all to be new and to already build those bridges. These are things that have not happened at all at any point. And so again, like I said, man, you guys are really trailblazing. And who knows what these relationships will be like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So again, like there is no ceiling, there is no cap on what you all are building here. And that, to me, that's so powerful. And that is what the greatest threat is. That is what the greatest threat is.
Is there anything that you feel like, is there anything that you want, that we haven't discussed already, that you want people to know about New Era Scholars or why you guys do the work that you do?
Yes, definitely. We'd say, although we are a pro-black org, we are very inclusive to all. So if you are anyone that's not our black, but that just who is a conscious student just looking for that safe space to truly serve humanity, we are at home for y'all. Don't be afraid to come through. If y'all see us on campus or even off campus, to come and pick our minds, understand who we are, more of an organization and our role, not only here on CSU campus, also off campus. Don't be afraid to approach us and ask us those questions and acquire information about us for y'all to know this is truly a space for y'all. So to make that clear, we are pro-black, but we are very inclusive to all. And as well as the inspiration for us. If you have any elders on here that's not in college now, that's not looking forward to going back to college, but still want to have that impact in the community. Our inspiration came from New Era Cleveland. So if you want to be impactful, and you are a conscious person that's not in college, go to New Era Cleveland. They're doing great work within the community. They're our inspiration to even starting this here on college campus to share this with the youth more, or to share this with our peers. It's a shame that the youth don't know about great King Fahim. And I'm gonna say great because you are great to me, King. You done some great things and playing a great role inside my life, so being that mentorship as a big brother as well. So it's a shame that not many kings know of Fahim that's doing for our youth, that's doing for our young man and woman. Queens like President Austria that's doing for our queens, that's standing in the modelship of what is a real queen, how a queen should move, the principles, morals she should have. Where she ain't no Glorilla, none of that. She is President Austria. Sorry, man. Like I say that because we put these other queens on these pedestals that should not be put on pedestals. But here it is, we got queens like you that's modeling to us how a woman should love on a man, how a woman should move as a woman, and yet you don't got them displaying that and being that in the forefront of like being an example for our young women. So also, if you are elders just looking for that connection and that home and that safe space, New Era Cleveland is the space as well outside of CSU campus. If you're looking for that safe space and you try to do more work within inside the community and you just really trying to follow your passion and your purpose, we're here for you. We got one on campus and off campus. You ain't no excuse for the youth and the elders. So, yeah.
And someone made a comment about y'all education. I mean, I already know y'all straight A students because we don't play that.
Q.
Yeah.
And homie, Conscious Q said them New Era scholars better be going to class too.
They better be.
Certainly.
I'll be on them.
So I know they asked about a major. You want to go tell about your major first?
Yeah, so my major is social work.
What you plan to do with that, Queen?
I'm planning to get real specific into it. Like, I don't know which path I want to take yet because it's so broad, but I really want to get into mental health, and I want to stay with the woman. Like, I really want to stay with that. So I'm thinking about probably switching my Africana Studies majors to women's studies. So I'm thinking about that too. Yeah.
Okay, mine's my fault. Mine is I'm double majoring inside business administration, middle childhood education. And my goal that is to have my own school someday. And what inspired me to do that is one, having that model in front of me with Ted Ginn Sr., but him having his own school, Ginn Academy, the great Ginn Academy where I graduated from, but as well as what got me into wanting to work with the youth is being a mentor at New Era Cleveland, the Cave of Adellum. Doing that, like, that was my piece. Like, coming there every day was my peace. That's a second home for me. And I didn't realize how much I love working with children until I actually started working with children. I didn't realize how much our children suffer from our actions and how we tend to educate them until I saw it myself, understanding that the youth, including ourselves, we have a curious mind. And what you feed our curiosity will becomes a reality. So I plan to feed the youth, not only now, but also the youth in the future, curiosity with nothing but positivity, with nothing but true education. Now they want us to know about ourselves, who we need to know about ourselves, who we were before the transatlantic slave trade, who we were before the Malcolm X, before Martin Luther King came into place. Understand that we were kings and queens, we were the Mansa Musas, we were the Moors, we were the Mansa Musas who made the great library, who made Timbuktu as a place of learning for our people, also having the great Library of Alexandria that was at in our home space that they came to get knowledge from us. So teaching the youth that first, and then also really helping them within math, because I struggled with math growing up, and I'm just now starting to love math, but that's because I understand my learning. So that's what I plan to do. My two majors is to have my own school, someday, and teach the youth properly.
Yeah. Y'all see the comments?
I've seen some about satanic rap. What is that?
Let me see. Psychological warfare. Oh, satanic rap.
Oh.
Satanic
Oh,
rap.
yeah.
I coach him for all.
With Glorilla?
I coach him for sure. Always been a good kid. Peace of love, King. Who?
That's Lefty. Yeah.
Lefty.
And shout out to Slick the Chef. They've been on from start to finish.
Yeah.
And definitely please tap in. Because again, like what we said at the beginning, so many of us have a heart for this work, but we're doing it alone.
Oh,
right?
King.
And the real pack is us coming together and doing it for sure. So please tap in.
Sorry, President, but peace, King. Oh, okay. Now I know. Okay, I got so many coaches from community on up to high school. But peace and love, Coach. I hope all is well with you.
No, I really
want to thank y'all for the love.
To use this opportunity again, if you're on this live, go follow them, follow their personal pages, follow the New Era Scholars page, promote the work that they're doing, because again, like all of the negative things going on in this city, in our neighborhoods, in this state, in the country, all the negative components to Black youth is being glorified, is being promoted everywhere. If you want to look up a shooting, I mean, all you gotta do is scroll down your timeline. But you have to be intentional when it comes to searching for youth doing something positive, and it shouldn't be that way. And so again, we got an obligation because the algorithm is playing into what we are viewing, what we clicking on, what we sharing amongst our friend group. And so if we want to change the culture of what's cool and what is being promoted consistently, we have an obligation to do that. Nobody else. And so again, that's just my task to everybody that's on this live stream. You should be identifying some youth that are doing something positive and promoting that. If you ain't highlighting at least once a month, one kid that's doing something constructive, you're a part of the problem. Period. We put the fights up. We put every shooting from the Remembrance page. We showing that in our stories. We in the comments. But who are we highlighting that's doing something positive? And so that's my challenge to everybody that's on this live.
Drop our names.
Like our usernames?
Yeah, but first, answer first. Ask Queen, ask this Nick VM, ask what are different ways people can get involved. Ask King.